Alright, y'all, it is day 64, the 20th of April. I'm about to go do the 7.5 down the Wind Gap. Mrs. ER is going to come pick me up. We're going to go to Kmart and pick up some stuff for Trail Magic and a couple other items I need before she leaves, and then spend the rest of the day with the family, kids, dogs, and the craziness that she brought with her. Alright, y'all, bye. Again. Look at the camera. Just look at the camera. You got it there. Alright, y'all. Alright, y'all. I'm going to film, but I'm going to try to keep it short. Look there. I see y'all just saw me angled down. I got you. You know why that happens, for the people who have mentioned it to me, and I'm glad you did, is I'm trying to look at it, but I'm not holding this thing up at my face because I got to be able to see the damn rock. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll try to hold the camera at a better angle. Alright, I am just doing the quick 7.5 to 8 down the Wind Gap. And then that will set me up to where she can just drop me off at Wind Gap in the morning. I don't have to start really early, so I can spend another morning there with them. And then I'll have 16 to the border to New Jersey. I don't know what to think about getting into New Jersey. I'm just assuming that everybody in that state is like the people from Jersey Shore, so that should be entertaining. Little J Wow, little Polly D. Alright, y'all, making our way down. Alright, wanted to comment on some things from the comments from yesterday's video, which I'll be honest with you, I really enjoyed that video. You got to understand me and my family, even though my wife was worried about me posting a lot of her stuff, but not worried other than she's afraid that she's going to look like a mean old redneck or something. I tell her such the opposite. Everybody just really adores seeing her on there and hearing her perspective, and it helps y'all see the real me more, which can be a very antagonizing person sometimes. I get enjoyment out of it, and that ain't necessarily good, but anyway, I was watching one of Big Bird's videos, and he's talking about the rocks in Maryland, and yeah, that rock field that he came across in that video was torturous, but I didn't have my mindset right for them yet there. And they weren't that bad, don't get me wrong, but it was so hot that day. That was the day I moved into Waynesboro and stayed at the Cobblestone Hotel, but yeah, Big Bird, if you see this, like, the rocks are definitely bad in Pennsylvania, but I think your mindset, even with what Teresa gave you of, man, walk on the rocks, don't walk around the rocks, unless they're these little ones that I'm walking on now, then you got to be careful. But and then somebody commented today that lives here in PA, they've always treated them like a puzzle, and I was like, man, that's the analogy that I've been trying to grasp in my head, because that's exactly what I do. I just get up and I start moving forward. And then it's this rapid puzzle I gotta solve really quick. And if you mess it up, you're gonna step on a wrong rock, and hopefully not many bad things will happen to you. And I kind of like that, man. I kind of like rapid puzzle that's moving under feet or underfoot, and you've got to figure it out right now. And that just goes on and on. It keeps my mind occupied. Keeps me very present and in the moment, which I think is key. And I'm telling you, and I told him back in the comments this morning, I think that is a great tool to use, and I may use in future ventures to teach people how to be present. And that could relate to just everyday be present, so you're not driving yourself insane, or translate to be present, so when you get to, or when it's time for you to do your job, whether that's breaching a building to go in and take it down, a police sniper having to take a difficult shot around a hostage, an accountant working on a big project worth millions of dollars. You know, any situation. You could bring them out here, do a little training camp, and teach them how to remain present and get some reps in so their mind can develop techniques to recognize when they're not present, which is what I talked about the whole time in Georgia and North Carolina, of roots and rocks. As soon as you look too far ahead, you trip or slip. As soon as you look behind, you trip or slip. But when you're fully present, you move smooth, and that smooth movement equals fast. All right, just interesting, just some verbal diarrhea right now, but that's how I work through concepts in my head. I just want y'all to be able to plug in and comment too. All right. All right, hey, I was just thinking too, I think this is a great opportunity for this audience to recognize differences, right? Because I'm telling you, as humans, we all get stuck in our context. I've been saying it since I've been out here. You get stuck in your own personal context, and you see something, and then you can't pull yourself outside of your context. Your ego, all of our egos, start judging other things against your context, what it's comfortable with, right? So for some people, the questioning and interaction with my wife last night, your egos get it. Like, yeah, that's what I kind of do with my wife, and that was funny. On the others, your egos don't do that, and they're not comfortable with it. So you judged on, hey man, that was uncomfortable. I don't know. I don't know if you should be doing that with your wife. So it's funny. So just go down and read comments and look at what the Matrix does to us. Because really, that was a great example of an interaction to where if you're not up in the balcony, you're going to start passing judgment, when really, you really don't have the context besides just what the camera turned on and off. And that's kind of what my wife was saying. And her point was, the day before in the truck, I just turned the camera on at a specific point and turned it off. You didn't get the front story, you didn't get the back story. But people instantly start pulling their context into the situation when you shouldn't, when we all shouldn't. And we do this on a daily basis, over and over and over, until we have all these segmented religions, all of these segmented societies and thoughts, because we're just searching for what makes us comfortable. Not our inner being, but our egotistical being. So think through that. That might make sense to some, it might not make sense to others. But read the comments and look how one interaction is perceived differently inside a community that we share a lot of commonality here on this channel. But that's a great example of how when we don't sit up in the balcony and watch our actions, and again, man, I'm not the choir boy, I'm as guilty as anybody, if not more so. Just think about it. Because as soon as we judge anything, any judgment we pass, and I do every day, and I wish I didn't, I'm trying to stay present, but it's tough. That is not your inner being talking. The ego is the only one that passes judgment, whether good or bad, so remember that. To the inner being, everything is always right because you're right where you should be. You're right in the position. You're right in the frame of mind. And everything is always perfect. It's our egos who turns things into good or bad. Let the puzzle begin. The rocks are a little bit slippery today too, so add some complexity into the puzzle. Ooh, that was slippery bad. Alright, I'm going to turn this off, so if I do die, y'all won't have to see it. Somebody brought up today, it's a good point. It made me think, still making me think. If it wasn't for the Matrix running a lot of these eyesores, we wouldn't get the views, a lot of the views that I've had so far, especially in the lower Appalachians coming up through the mid-Atlantic. some of the best views have been because of the Matrix. So, good point. Interesting. Try to film without killing myself. So I want to thank, again, his sage advice is always mind-blowing to me, but Spielberg for chiming in about slap packing yesterday. Very good comments. A lot of y'all appreciated them. And that's what we're talking about, letting go. It's funny, people who don't really think about the mental aspect of this before they start, and I was the same way. I mean, I knew mental was going to be a key piece, but we all get sucked down into the gear level pieces of this. What's the best tent? What's the best socks? What's the best cook kit? And all that's important. But it was like Spielberg told me before I started, man, all that's things you're gonna figure out along the way. So obviously spend some time necking it down before you come out and do some practice hikes and stuff like we've talked about before. But in the end, if you think you're coming out with a 100% solution, you are wasting a whole lot of time at home, because you can let stuff go. So thanks, Spielberg. I have learned to let a lot of stuff go here, and most of it being egocentric stuff. Appreciate it, bro.
We spent the night in Palmerton last night, and they slap packed us up to Wind Gap, and we're coming back.
All the way to Palmerton?
Yes.
There's some good sections, so y'all be able to do it easily, but there's some doggone rocks too.
Yes.
But it's all good.
I can't wait to get this. This is fabulous.
Say who you are?
My name is Greeter.
So all y'all who follow me know Greeter, because he comments a lot, and everybody knows he's out here hiking right now. So this is cool, Greeter. I'm glad to get to meet you, buddy.
That's cool, man.
And I just found out he taught my cousin in band. How does that happen? I didn't even know that.
And I live in Jasper. Don't you have a grandfather?
No, my dad lives in Jasper.
Dad lives in Jasper.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were talking about eating biscuits and gravy in Jasper on an early one. So
that's good to meet you, buddy.
All right, that's super cool.
I was afraid I wasn't going to get to meet Greeter. That was cool. Definitely an extrovert, Greeter. And I like it, man. I could hear him coming 100 yards down the trail. He's got a magnetic personality. If y'all aren't following him, you should, man, because he's an entertaining guy. He lives in the same town as my dad. Actually, he lives in a place where me and my family used to belong. And we used to play golf there all the time and fishing in the lake up there. So he lives in a gorgeous, gorgeous community. And Mr. Bigfoot, Mr. Rory himself, has a granddad that lives in that same community. I didn't know that, brother. Lord, I grew up going there all the time, so that's cool, man. We have even more of a connection than I thought, buddy. Next time you go up there, man, we gotta sync up, and I'll go visit my dad, man. We need to link up and go eat somewhere. All right, y'all. Cool morning. I'm glad I came out and did this now, because I wouldn't have got to meet Greeter if not. All right, y'all. All right. So we're gonna do a little experiment. Every time I get a little clear spot walking, I try to read some comments, and they're making me smile today, because I'm getting the reactions that really I kind of set off to get when I posted that video yesterday. So it makes me laugh a little bit. First thing I gotta give is, come on, man. Like, oops, sorry. If y'all ain't figured out that I try to do things to get a rise out of you guys, to affect your emotions at times, then you don't know me very well. And some of you may not, because you just started following, but those who've been following me the whole time, most of y'all get it and know what I'm doing. So it's harder to get by on you guys. Or the more positive thoughts are, maybe you are learning how to stay present and not let the ridiculous emotions of words or actions carry you somewhere that the Matrix wants you to go, that the ego's taking you, because it wants to feel comfortable in your context. So anyway, so what I want y'all to do when you see this video, with 24 hours, beyond the video that was posted yesterday. Go back and, if you commented, go back and read it. Read the emotion in it. And ask yourself why. Why did those two scenes, or the scene with my wife, make you comment the way you did? Whether you said, hey man, that's just like me and my wife, or whether you said, hey, you gotta stop treating people that way. Like, go back and read it, and then use that for some self-awareness for you. Like, what triggered your emotion? How can you prevent things like that from triggering your emotions in the future? Because if you can't, man, the matrix has a hold of you. And if you can't recognize it, if we can't recognize it, man, we're just stuck inside. So anyway, like, there's no doubt I do love antagonizing my wife, and she knows it. God knows she says it all the time. Like, she's probably one of the few women in the world that could be married to me, and I agree. But if you want to judge me for that 2-minute little clip and ignore the whole body of work that we put together here, man, have at it. I'm okay with that. Man, I'm gonna survive. But hopefully we can use this as a learning lesson for all of us, me included, of when we see things that don't make sense in our context, what do we do with it? Do we try to engage and make those, like, bring those people to our context because that's what we think is right? All right, so if that's so, who's doing that? Is that your inner self? Remember, now I guess you have to buy into this, but your inner self is good. Your inner self never judges. So if that's the case, or your emotions, who is that coming from? Where are those arising from? Anyway, something to just think about, but it'll be fun to go back and look at your comments and then decipher them unemotionally. Get into the balcony and then look at your comments. And I think a lot of you will see, just like a lot of the comments I make every day and I hear, and I can tell, man, that came straight from the ego. I think you'll see some areas that can enhance your awareness, because I don't know how many of you have read books like social intelligence. That word has almost become blasé these days. But understanding how you're going to react before those emotions take control is key. And I'm still working on it too. Alright, back to some trail strategy. So, only doing this 8 miles today into Wind Gap. Will put us at mile almost, I think it's 1278 or 1279. And being day 64, 20 mile average would be 1280 miles. So we're right there at the average. That's awesome, having my family here for this long and still getting to maintain that average. Just priceless. Priceless to have a woman who makes things happen. And somebody said she'd be good at trail magic or trail balls or something. I'm telling you, she is really, really good at details when it comes to, like, when we get back, I'm taking my food bag out. I think I told you all this. Spreading it out. It's going to be for 3 days. She's going to question me and hammer me and not take my but I'll be hungry excuse, and we're going to neck that food down. And I might film that just so y'all can think, just so the emotions will get up and y'all can think, oh man, she was bashing you. That was said in jest, but there's always truth behind humor. Yeah, she's invaluable like that. Like, she's very pragmatic. And you know, in all relationships, really, you usually marry your opposite. When it comes to food, y'all seen it, I'll just go and buy whatever I want. And she's a lot more pragmatic, so I'm gonna hate losing her, but maybe by us doing this today, it will help make me a little better later. If not, I'll just have to video conference call her while I'm shopping. All right, we'll see how that goes. Might film that. All Alright y'all, so the trail comes right down this hill, dumps you out right there. You're going to take a right, you're going to go under this tunnel and proceed down that way. However, there's a Gateway Motel entrance right down the road, right where that curve is that you can see in the road. I don't know much about it, but maybe an option. Don't even know if it's still open. I'll research it, but just wanted to show you while I was still here. Alright, the family's about 10 minutes out. Going down here and finding a better place to pick me up. This is a busy little road. This is Highway 33 right here, and it goes underneath. I don't know if that's 78 above us or what. Anyway, walking, you can see the trail comes down this road. You don't have to play Frogger though. And then you can see we are in the borough of Wind Gap. Alright y'all. Alright, me and Miss Early Riser are in Walmart getting some Trail Magic set up. Probably gonna drop it off at Smith Gap today. There she is. Trail Magic. Alright y'all, the Early Riser family coming to do some Trail Magic at Smith Gap. So in here we got an assortment of granola, Snickers bars, not ground beef, that's coming home with us because that would be gross. Coca-Cola and some Mountain Dew. Some nice stuff. We're also going to put out some chips and 2 jugs of water. Caleb and Jordan's going to help. I'm going to carry it out and put it behind a tree. I'll show you here in a second. Miss Early Riser's coming to get some stuff put on. Alright y'all, this is the last supper before I don't get to see my family no more.
Sad as it is.
46 to 50 days, I'm guessing. Miss T done cooked up some spaghetti, some garlic bread, we got some salad. Right up here, I'll bring it over there in a second. You sit down. Sit down, Jordan Carr. And Blossom waiting for hers.
Yeah, I wonder why I'm telling them to be civilized.
I don't know. Alright, we're going to sit down and break bread, and we're going to eat the rest of this German chocolate cake. From Walmart, by the way, and it is fabulous. That was my birthday cake. Delicious. Alright, y'all, I didn't show this earlier. Me and Miss Early Riser came back to add a few more things to the Trail Magic. We put fig bars in there, apple cinnamon. We put some Fritos. Somebody came by and put in some instant dry milk. They added to it. They probably came off a section hike and had some stuff left. So in the cooler, y'all, like, I'll be honest with you, I'm proud of this. Miss Early Riser did good. But somebody added these. Somebody added these since we've been gone. And somebody put their banana chips in there, which is really cool. But we've got almond Snickers in here. Regular Snickers. I love these. Chewy dips. We've got Cokes. We've got Mountain Dews. Man, that's some good Trail Magic, Miss ER. And this is what it says here. Trail Magic. Please reserve for long distance hikers. They need a pick-me-up. Keep pushing North Nobos. Keep pushing South Sobos. And then please leave trash, blah, blah, blah. Mrs. and Mr. Early Riser. Alright, y'all. Whoever finds this, man, I hope you enjoy it. It comes from the heart. We love you guys.